Today, the president's focused on fulfilling one of his most significant campaign promises to the American people by making America safe again, by taking steps to secure our borders and improve immigration enforcement inside the United States. The president intends to sign 2 executive orders after observing the swearing in of Secretary of Homeland Security Kelly. The first order is the Border Security and Immigration Enforcement Improvements. It addresses long overdue border security issues, and it's the first order in that will be to build a large physical barrier on the southern border. Building this barrier is more than just a campaign promise. It's a common sense first step to really securing our porous border. This will stem the flow of drugs, crime, illegal immigration into the United States. And yes, one way or another, as the president has said before, Mexico will pay for it. The executive order also provides the dedicated men and women of the Department of Homeland Security with the tools they need, the tools and the resources they need to stop illegal immigration from entering the United States. Under the Constitution, the American people get the final say who can and cannot enter our nation, and they've spoken loud and clearly through our laws. We're going to create more detention space for illegal immigrants along the southern border to make it easier and cheaper to detain them and return them to their country of origin. We're going to end the last administration's dangerous catch and release policy, which has led to the deaths of many Americans. We're going to once again prioritize the prosecution and deportation of illegal immigrants who've also otherwise violated our laws. And after these criminals spend time in prison for the crimes that they've committed, they're going to get back one-way tickets to the country of their origin, and their governments are going to take them back. The second executive order, enhancing public safety in the interior of the United States, addresses the enforcement of our immigration laws in the United States and returns the power and responsibility to the dedicated men and women of the Department of Homeland Security's Immigration and Custom Enforcement to help them enforce the law. These men and women want to enforce the law, and we're going to help them do that. Federal agencies are going to unapologetically enforce the law, no ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to restore the popular and successful Secure Communities program, which will help ICE agents target illegal immigrants for removal. The State Department is going to withhold visas and use other tools to make sure countries accept and return the criminals that came from their country. We'll ensure that these countries take those individuals back, and we're going to strip federal grant money from the sanctuary states and cities that harbor illegal immigrants. The American people are no longer going to have to be forced to subsidize this disregard for our laws. Reforming our immigration system has been at the top of President Trump's priorities since he announced his candidacy. Now, in just the first week, we're not there yet, of his presidency, the last administration will enforce the rule of law and restore value to the American citizenship, our greatest asset in the 21st century. Lori Montenegro from Telemundo.
Thank you, Sean. With regards to the executive order the president will be signing today, with regards to the wall, it's already been estimated that it will cost billions of dollars. Has the administration figured out how Mexico will pay for this, and do you have any guarantee from Republicans in Congress that they will provide all of the funding necessary to see this project come to completion? Also, about 2 days ago, you were asked about DACA.
Yeah.
And some of the dreamers, as they are known, have lots of questions regarding what is their future.
Right.
I mean, do they continue to apply? Those that apply for renewal, will their applications be processed? And with regards to stripping funding from the sanctuary cities, what fundings are we talking about with regards to that?
Thanks, Lori. I think with respect to the last part of that first, what the executive order does is it directs the secretary to look at ways that look at funding streams that are going to these cities of federal monies and figure out how we can defund those streams. So part of this is a directive to the secretary to look at those funding streams and then figure out how they can be cut off. So that's what the actual order directs them to do. The first part with respect to DACA, I've talked about this a couple days. The order today doesn't specifically deal with that. We will have further updates on the rest of the president immigration agenda further in the week. But as I've mentioned before, I think the president will talk about it in an interview tonight, but his priority is first and foremost people who are in this country that seek to do us harm. And he understands, I mean, the president understands the magnitude of this problem. He's a family man. He understands. He has a huge heart, and he understands the significance of this problem. But he's going to work through it with his team in a very humane way to make sure that he respects the situation that many of these children are in that were brought here. But his priority with respect to immigration is first and foremost making sure that people who are in this country that are seeking to do us harm or have committed a crime are at the forefront of that. Francesca